so off the top, just tell us what you're doing at your facility for people who don't really understand.
Okay, so Precision Football is like a state-of-the-art technology center here in Dubai, predominantly football center. So what we're trying to do is create like an environment of like a professional football training center like they would have in Europe or around the world. So what we've done is we built 165,000 square foot. So it has, in the outside part, it has a full-size pitch, 11-a-side, which convert to 9-a-sides, 4 7-a-sides, and 5-a-side. We've also 2 paddle courts, which obviously paddle's the fastest growing sport, say, in the region and in the world. And then we have an indoor center. So the indoor center is split between different zones. So it's all about, data analytics and high-level training equipment to kind of enhance everyday people and players. So here we're just kind of like, we're not reinventing football. We're just kind of making this, super football Disneyland for all these different zones and technologies from around the world under one roof. So indoor and then traditional pitches outdoor. So we're really trying to enhance like the level here in the UAE and give a lot of people the opportunity to, train, progress, advance their footballing skills, whatever it is, here at Precision by having this like high spec, high level training center.
Is Dubai like the place to do something like this? Because you just have all these nationalities and this intersection.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect location, perfect city. The country is very innovative in what they do, and they're very, at the forefront of technology as well. So combining technology and football and sport, which everyone loves, especially here in the Middle East, is a perfect opportunity to build this centre here. People, absolutely adore football, and then putting this high level centre here, it's worked really well. I think it's great to have something like this here because it gives people the opportunity. The other thing is like they're not so advanced in the sport industry as say the States or Europe. So having places like Precision Football kind of bridges that gap. So you don't have to go back to Europe or to the States to find this sort of level. It's actually here now in Dubai. That's why it's a great region to have it in.
And this is for, like, who is it for? You've got little kids who've never played football before. You've got teenagers who are really good at football. Like, who do you cater to?
Yeah, someone just asked me that actually 5 minutes ago, saying it's for everyone and everyone. Is what I try and say. So, for instance, if I take the different, sort of client, we have, the 3 and 4 year old who's just started to play football. So, with our equipment, we have different lights to hit the ball and different to help them with their motion and passing ability and just learning the game. So it's for young kids that just want to get involved, and instead of just going on a pitch with a coach, they got, it's engaging for the kids because there's lights and different games to play. So that's, the beginners. We also have then the players, the young academy players who may be 10, 11, 12, 13 that want to aspire to be a player, or they play for their local team or their school teams that they want to play and advance their skills as well. So, and then you have like the elite player, it's built to have, we have some of the equipment and some of the analysis. We have that top clubs in the Premier League and the Liga, like the Real Madrids, the Bayern Munichs, Borussia Dortmunds. We have stuff that Arsenal have, Chelsea have. So some of the top sort of like development structure that pro teams have. So professional players, we've had the national team down from the UAE and they loved it. They don't even have the stuff at their football clubs here in the UAE that we have under the house. So top professional players here and pro players are coming here to advance their game as well, even though they're already top athletes. And then also you've just got the social player, people that just want to get fun, whether they're man or woman, or if they're 50, 60 years old, they want to just turn up, play a game of football, socialize with friends, meet new people, and maybe just get fit as well. A lot of people here would just want to come for an hour. We do a policy where it's like a membership program, so you can come unlimited times throughout the month, come get fit, have a shower, then grab some food upstairs. So it really, to answer your question, is to everyone and everyone that wants to get fit, play football, have fun, and maybe do something different. It really is like the football Disneyland, like under one roof. Like I want to be known as like the home of football, but for anyone and everyone. You know, whoever you think about football, you think, oh, precision football might do that, or I come from precision football for that, or that's basically what it's there for.
When you say the UAE, like you had stuff they don't have, like what? Just can you give me some specifics of things that you have that are really top notch that you wanted to get?
Yeah, so we have different training icons, so arenas. So with that, different lights hit at different times, and so it's like a passing machine. So you can, pass whether it's longer range passing or short passing, and so that kind of creates in your mind you're enhancing your ability, your pass selection, your awareness, and all these different machines are really good and intense to advance a player a lot quicker than you would traditionally. So we have a different arenas and zones that really, really push the boundaries to enhance players. And we have a data analysis. So every data is recorded. You have your own app. You can see what you're doing, see your progression, which that's what the players and clubs don't have. So we can actually go in to the individual player. So you can develop yourself, and see where you are and hit milestones. So that is what I think is a bit of a USP for us, is we can record all your data. And with that, we have cameras on each pitch as well. So that's what the UAE national team, some of the pro players, we're saying we don't have this at our club because we can watch back your data. We can focus just on your ability by playing football outside. We can track your mileage, your passing, your statistics, even your running type. Anything that a player or an athlete needs to progress and then look at themselves. We have all of that under one roof, and then we give you data and reported feedback. So that is where a lot of football clubs or players don't have, but we have it here. So just that small couple of percentage to make you a better player as such.
How does that work though? Like, how do you measure that? Do they wear a wearable and then you assimilate the data? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so with our cameras, we can track the distance covered. If you run 15 kilometers a game or 3 kilometers, before it's just with a coach's eyesight. A lot of it as well is taking away this, subjective view of a coach. Back in the day, one coach might like a player, the other coach doesn't like a player. One football fan hates a player because he's not running, but we can actually go, well, this is the data he's tracking. He's made this many passes, this many touches, and just see his effectiveness in a game of football. And then in the inside with the zones is, well, where are they letting themselves down? Are they missing a lot of left foot passes, right foot passes? Are they, so we can really gather all the data and information, which helps.
And do people I have a lot of friends that play football. Do they like to get that data too? Because I feel like it'd be something that guys who play and then go for a beer after can sort of toss.
So what's funny is like I said, it's built for elite training facility for the top pros and clubs around the world. But precision football, like I said, is we have a huge social following, and we have 5-a-side leagues and 7-a-side, and we have the cameras and data there. So a lot of it is used for that. It's still a business, in terms of we want to provide the average person playing football. They scored a great goal or they did a great skill against their friend, and we can send them the clip, show them it, and then they post it over their social media, or we send it in their WhatsApp group. And it's funny because no matter how old you are, or whatever, I scored a goal the other day and I want to see it straight back. I want to send it to my friends, go, look at what I did. And we have that with a lot of social people. So they see it, they can see how many passes they've done, compare with their friends, and then they can laugh about it after, like I said, go upstairs for a drink or some food. And that's a real, it's a good question, because a lot of it is for that. It's for just making football a little bit more fun or more, as well, which it needs to be,
Well, everyone likes to have fun, but then, it's kind of cool to measure your performance no matter what level you're at, right? Yeah. And boast about or whatever.
Yeah, so we have our own, also we have inside the technology, so that precision, we have our own data card. So when you come in, you receive your card and you swipe your card against each machine. So then it comes up your name. So it's like, Mr. Sonny. And then what happens, you have big leaderboards. So we have like this month, this week, you can have your team. So we have a leaderboard, like if you went any other, entertainment facility. So you can see who the best is and who you can try and beat, and it has your name in bright lights. So that is really competitive as well. So sometimes I have, young children, 12, 13, going, Coach Sonny, what's your score? And they're constantly trying to beat my score, or they want to beat their friend's score. That's a really good, environment to create as well, because we can, judge against other players. We give prizes for the people who are top of the month. Even if they're like under sixes, if they're a group, we can see where their progression is. Can they, beat their other friend or do this? So the competitive element and tracking their data, everyone wants to see how good they are, how many passes they made in a minute. And we have like 15, 16 different games per machine. So it's just endless. So sometimes for a week, we keep one game on, then we switch it. So even if you're, it's a place where, repeat customers can come, they can come from as many times as they want, because it's always changing. And we're changing the games, changing the lights, changing everything to track your data as well.
Okay. Can you explain that part to me, changing the games? That I'm a little lost on that part. Like, I'm just picturing two teams playing a game against each other. I'm trying to dissect it for you. So with the traditional pitches outside, that's just playing a match, and that's where you can, with cameras more, and we also having your monitor with a chest piece, so you can see your heart rate, you can see your distance. With the outside matches, you can see your performance on a pitch. But when I say about training, when you come inside our training facility inside, and that's where we have different arenas and different zones. So for instance, one is like blades. So one is you just touching the lights. So how many lights can you touch, maybe for a goalkeeper or maybe analysis. One is a circle area where you're passing the ball. How many passes can you make? And when I say with different games, different functionality. So different lights mean different points, different scores, different sizes of the equipment. So some of you might be really quick because it's a smaller game. Then it's a larger game where you have to work on your longer passing, your fitness. We have a wall, we have a full-size goal. So one of it is, it's not passing now, it's shooting. You've got to shoot and try and knock the lights out in a certain amount of time. So really, like, all attributes to create a footballer, we collect that data. And then that's where we can create competitions. So who's the best at different zones? Some want to be at this zone, but not this zone. So it's kind of like endless, because there's so much under one roof here. When you were playing, did you start to get, like, when did the vision for this develop in you?
So I played professional football, and we started to incorporate, it was like one of the late 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they had some sort of data and analysis. We used to watch some certain games back, and we had, the vests on where you could monitor your distance covered and speed. But realistically, I always was interested in kind of, again, seeing how I performed, my personal data, not my team. I wanted to see my own performance and where I could progress. So I was always kind of excited about that anyway, by seeing a little glimpse of it in the professional game. But realistically, the idea came to me when I moved to Dubai. I've been here for about over 11 years, and I've been coaching kids, tens of thousands of kids throughout my time, and players at all levels. And I feel like they needed to bridge that gap to kind of, it was just out in Dubai, it was just very traditional coaching and one coach and just coaching on the pitch and the field. And they kind of needed more feedback. And it was almost, I felt like I was always trying to give as much as I could to individual players. And I was like, they need some sort of a data and analysis, and because I wanted to enhance these players, and I didn't feel they're getting the opportunity here. I also went to a visit. I took a team from Dubai to America. So I went to the States in Florida, to IMG in Florida. That was one of the top elite centers in the world, where they do baseball and tennis and American football and soccer and football as well. So they have mind gyms. It was about it was mind gyms. There was data, there was technology. And I was like, we need to enhance this region. We're quite far behind the US in terms of creating an overall athlete. And it was funny, I watched a baseball simulator where they had all the tags on all the arms, and they were watching their swing, like the golfers swing. And I was like, how can I create this in football? Because this is needed. Football now is such a high level, high tempoed, high rewards, high risk game. And the money in football and the sport is, it needs, to be that top guy, you need that 1%, 2%, 3% to make a difference. And I felt like football was, as a sport, a little bit behind, where other sports in America are a little bit more maybe advanced on looking at themselves. And I used to read psychology books. And when I was at Brighton, when I played professional, even the way that you think, the way, we were trying to encourage, a bit of psychology in football as well, a bit of a mind gym. It's not just go and play a game of football. I'm sure high-level sportsmen, all the books, the Federers, the Tiger Woodses, there's so much that goes into becoming successful. It's not just go and kick a ball on the field. It kind of all created over the last 15 years of playing and coaching. different ideas came to my head. And when I came back from America and I saw the kids playing, I thought, right, let's try and put this all together.
Do you think there's any way that it takes any of the fun out of it, though?
Yeah, no, not at all. I think if I was creating robots, I think, yeah, like, you know, people might say, you know, but it's kind of like it's just like when I play football, you know, it's about repetition. Anything you do is a 10,000 hour rule. If you do something for 10,000 hours, you'll be pretty good at it. You know, if, you know, the Williams sisters, they hit 10,000 tennis balls, they become better at a younger age. If Tiger Woods hits 10,000 shots of a golf, like in football, when I grew up, and traditionally I was kicking a ball against the wall or we're here at position, like, well, you kick a ball against the light, you're running, you're moving. So it actually makes it more fun, more engaging. And I think the way that the world is going and technology is so advanced now, it kind of incorporates that kids are walking around with their iPads, and so they can check their scores. I feel like it needs this to keep football interesting. So it's actually the old football ways is boring. This football is needed to keep it engaging.
Okay. So what's easier, coaching a kid or coaching an adult?
Probably coaching a kid. Some of the kids here are fantastic, and over the years they listen, they absorb, their brain is like a sponge, you know. Like, so if you tell them, you know, some fundamentals, I find coaching kid is brilliant because you tell them what they to do and they understand, and then sometimes you see the reward very quickly, so you can see they've listened, they've taken on board, and they progress. Coaching an adult is a little bit different. You need a different sort of approach to it because they already set in their ways, they have their routine, they're already an established player. It's more tapping into their mindset a little bit with an adult. It's like, why would you have to do this? The decision making and kind of breaking it down a little bit more. So for me, the answer would be coaching a child is a lot more rewarding as well. To see them progress is really heartwarming, you know, to see that.
Do you ever have any absolute adult beginners that come?
Yeah, even one of my friends came and he was using the equipment and he was kicking the ball everywhere outside of against the wall and glass and all over I said to him, just learn. So yeah, you do have adult beginners, and again, it's just they love it. It's about, you know, keeping fit, getting used to it, and again, because it's engaging with the different arenas and games and data, they actually enjoy it. Where I feel they may feel intimidated if they just went on the pitch with advanced players and they had to play in a team and they didn't get the ball. And, you know, I want people to build their confidence as well in here. And you're kind of training on your own. So you're training it yourself, so you can push yourself and there's no one judging you. You can just get to work. You like going to a gym. You just want to go there, work out, do your own mindset. People are at many different levels in football. And it's not about there or there. It's about yourself. So, you know, to create an individual program to benefit yourself. That's what I want to kind of get across as well. Like it's an objective approach to football, not subjective.
So when you're a top ranked player, you're playing in front of all those people, you're having that kind of life. How did you make that adjustment to not being in that arena? How does that work? Is that take a couple of years to do, or do you prepare yourself before? Like, I'm super curious.
So when I played professional football, so it was great. I mean, you have a weird mindset where that's kind of all you want to do, and it's just your life, and you kind of don't think of anything else. You know, I was successful to have a career as a younger adult, but I mean, things didn't work out as well. So I kind of went from club to club, and I realized quite quickly, I was like, it's a very tough industry as well. It's very unforgiving. If I had one bad season, then I went on to another club and it wasn't then so great. And all of a sudden you think this is not unless you're at the top part of your game, you have to think of something else. Even a lot of players now, I think there's a lot of stories in press and people are, you know, saying that you need backup. There's a lot of students in the game and, you know, that fall out of the game very quickly. And it's quite sad because you need more support. You know, can they go to school? Can they go to colleges? Can they look at backups? And luckily, at the club that I was at, we did some studying 1 day a week. We had to go to college. I did my coaching badges. I didn't want to do them. We were like, oh, who wants to be a coach? We're going to be professional football players, you know. But they made you do your coaching badges along the way as a backup, and I fell into that. So then, when I was like, what should I do? I was playing. I made the decision to be like, I started to coach, and I thought I actually really enjoy this. And I was a very young coach, and I thought, I actually now want to give back or become even a more successful coach than I was a player. So I kind of, it was sad to say not play. When I stopped, I moved here and I started to coach, and I thought, okay, I've kind of given up the dream now. It stopped earlier than me. I could have had a longer career, but I thought, no, I'm going to dedicate my craft and what I know and teach myself to now be a more successful and better coach than I was player. So for me, it wasn't too hard because I love football. My whole life was football. I've never done anything else apart from football. So I still feel I'm part of it. I do miss sometimes playing, but then also I don't miss the diets, the early nights, the bed. So I can kind of, enjoy my life a little bit. It's very structured and routine in professional football. You can't go on holiday, you can't have a day off. I was missing families' weddings and and birthdays, and now it's kind of like I've got the best of both worlds. So I love football, but just dedicating my craft to coaching now, just not playing.
Okay. I had a question because I only know about football from Ted Lasso, and my own failed where we call it soccer where I come from. So I know you guys don't call it soccer, but I played when I was a kid and I was horrible. And then I tried to play again in my 30s and was equally horrible. So I know very little, but I love the game. And I've been watching Ted Lasso. Has that done anything for the game? What has it done? Is it irritating or?
No, it's quite funny because Ted Lasso, it became quite popular. I watched it when it first came out a few years back. So no, it's a popular program. I mean, anything that raises the profile of football is great. It's obviously a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek comedy, but he's a great motivator. I mean, I would like to say that I know a lot more about football than Ted Lasso. I'd try and compare myself to someone like Pep Guardiola, who's won the Premier League, rather than Ted Lasso. No, it's fun. It's tongue-in-cheek, and it shows like a bit of an insight of football and the players in the changing room. But no, I think it's hilarious. I like it. It enhances the game. And even on a lot of pundits and players and that, I know watch it and they love it. So, yeah. And
then even I'm just always interested when North America discovers something. All of a sudden it's like Ryan Reynolds has bought this team. The actor. Has that made a change? What do people think of that? I'm curious.
I think it's brilliant. I mean, I actually watched a documentary and I was speaking to a friend of mine, and I think it's brilliant that they're involved. It kind of, puts together an A-lister, Hollywood's superstar and football. And I think even the guys, Ryan Reynolds, they love football. They can't believe the passion. And, England as a nation, football is in our blood. It's in our DNA. It's, if the national team loses, it's mourning for a week or 2 weeks or for years. I mean, I'm still talking with my friends or family of when we got knocked out of, a World Cup 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It's like, it's relentless. It's in our blood. So it is a little bit crazy in England, but the way that it's just part of your life. When you grow up, who do you support? First thing you talk about, you have to support a team. It's so dedicated in your life. So the Americans. I mean, I like I said, I've been to America a few times. I did some work over there, and the more success. I mean, David Beckham going over there. Now more players are going there. I think it's only a matter of time before they really take it on board. And I think there's a lot of big strides happening with America and with American soccer, as they call it. And the World Cup now is in 3 years' time in America. I know it's America, Canada, and Mexico. That will be a huge impact again. And even for precision, we are expanding and franchising the model and building more centers across the Middle East. And we are looking at America as well. I think it's something that the ethos and the company and what we set up here would work very well in North America. So that's something that I would like to approach and take on.
And can you just talk to me a little bit about kids? We have so many kids who are sedentary, and you've rates of diabetes in kids. There's just obesity. And it's always just bad, negative stories, it feels like. And can you just talk a little bit about getting kids involved in sport and movement and how that can sort of inform the rest of their life and their current life?
Yeah, I think for sure, we have so many kids that come through the door. And as soon as they take a step in our center and they see, the engagement, meeting friends and getting fit, and it just comes hand in hand. kids here, they absolutely love it, and they play for 4, 5, 6 hours. We run summer camps, and that whole fitness lifestyle is needed. Kids now, I feel like they maybe a little bit more at home, or the way technology is going, they're not outside as much. Where we were younger, maybe the old generation was playing in the street or playing outside. But fitness is so important, and I see, I don't see the negative side or negative stories, because no matter what size or shape you are or age you are, you can play football for half an hour or 20 minutes or run around with friends, and I like it as like a social element. Doing sport is a social thing with friends in your school and stuff like that. I think, and getting fitness is hand in hand. So we encourage, boys, girls, men, women to do fitness classes. So Precision as a whole we offer so much that I just want people to come down, and whether it is just to get fit or kick a ball or see a friend or play for 10 minutes, I feel like there needs to be a little bit maybe more open arms to facilities and things like that, to encourage people to come. That's all it is, really, because having a healthy lifestyle is then physically and mentally, and that's what you want to encourage. So we always really encourage people to come, and whatever you want to do, if you go to a gym for 5 minutes on the treadmill or 2 hours, even myself, I need to get fit, but even if I do 20 minutes of the workout, I feel rewarded. And I think we'll just push that, but don't put pressure on kids. It's just, if you want to do this, do this. You want to play for this thing, you want to achieve this goal or this goal, come and get fit, come and play with your friends. And the social element as well, just hanging around other people and getting out of your house, come and meet some people.
Deal with your own physical fitness when you were at that peak level where you weren't able to do anything but play football, and then now you have a real life. How do you, how do you look at your body and are you are you happy, or how do you reconcile those?
Currently at the minute, I was still playing social football and playing at a level in Dubai, but the last, say, 2 years, because of work's taken over and building this centre has been a bit of a big task here. I've stopped a lot of fitness recently, and for me, maybe I'm a little bit out of shape and see that, but I'm happy in my mindset. So I'm like, okay, maybe I get fit, but it's all about how you are. When I was playing, I was getting fit, eating the right thing, eating the right diet, going to the gym, and sometimes maybe that's not what I wanted to do all the time. It's a bit of a balance. It's like, if you're happy with yourself right now, keeping fit and getting fit is brilliant. It stimulates the mind, and to have that, and has endorphins by going for a run or playing a five-a-side outside. But I'm nowhere near as fit as when I was playing. But when I was playing and pushing myself to the limit, it's not all it wasn't all happy times. Even that is a strain, even on the mental side of the sport. Having to do stuff and or push yourself through injuries and disappointments. It's just about finding a balance of, are you happy with yourself? And it doesn't matter what shape and size you are, even if you want to start again. If I play five-a-side, after 5 minutes, I can't breathe. But everyone else is running around me for another hour. But I'm happy with my own progress. I think people need the messages, work on yourself. Don't ever compare yourself with someone else, because, they have different metabolism, different age, different backgrounds. So just work on yourself and what you feel comfortable to do, pushing yourself to a certain limit. And I think you'll be happy in doing that.
Fantastic. And one more question for you that I had at the top of my head, but now I've forgotten it. It was right there. Give me. Oh, you have done lots of stuff giving back, to kids who are, not able to pay for stuff like this, from families who are not able to pay for stuff like this. Can you talk a little bit about that work?
Yeah, for me personally, football. Yeah, I have a different program. So here at Precision, we have, if children can't afford it, or we're trying to start programs up, obviously we speak to the parent, because for me, my ethos and philosophy is, I want everyone to have the opportunity to play football, or to keep fit or use the facility. So, the prices aren't so high. There's different things that we can do. And I set up, I'm working on a foundation. I just come back from Kenya for a football charity. There's an amazing charity called 1 by 1, and they built a school for underprivileged children with no parents, and their boarding schools, and and housing schools for some orphanages and children there. And I feel we just set up a football program for them for a week. And we donated some uniforms and kits, and we're looking to do a lot more in terms of giving opportunities to people that don't have necessarily access to playing fields or access to coaches. And for me, football almost in my life growing up, I didn't really have, not a lot of what was going on. And football was the only thing that kind of kept me, driven in life, and I didn't really have anything else. So it was like, football was just something to keep me with friends and smile and keep fit. And I ended up excelling in it. But I just feel like it's such a stimulant in life to do some sport, and football is what I know. So if I can help anyone set up football academies or locations, or we'll donate kits that we don't need, it goes a long way. So even in Kenya, we set up these tournaments. They didn't have any kits or any balls or any cones, and we can. And Precision, I'm going to continue to support the program. We're looking at funding for a football facility there. We're going to try and build a smaller pitch there for the community to play and use, because they love football. All around the world, I've seen people love football, and it's just brings so much happiness and joy to everyone. But they didn't have a pitch to play on, so they want to do this, but they just, some people aren't as fortunate as other people. So how can we bridge that gap? Can we help in any way? And, for me personally as well, it's a thing in my life that I'm going to continue to do, and try and do, as many areas as possible to give the opportunity to play football.
That's lovely. Thank you, Sonny. It's lovely to talk to you.